I don't believe in dramatic breakups. No shouting, no long-winded speeches, no emotional goodbyes. If someone shows me they don't respect me, I'm gone. No discussion, no closure. And that's exactly how I handled it when I found out my girlfriend was cheating. But let me back up. I've been with Emily for almost 2 years. We had what I thought was a solid relationship. No major fights, no trust issues, at least, not on my end. She was affectionate, always texting me that she loved me, making plans for the future. So when I first got a weird feeling, I ignored it. It started with little things. Emily, who used to text me nonstop, suddenly became busy. She'd take longer to reply. She started falling asleep early and going out more with the girls. Then there were the small lies. She once told me she was at home for the night, but her location, which she didn't even realize was shared on Snapchat, showed her somewhere across town. When I casually asked about it the next day, she laughed it off. Oh, I forgot. We ended up getting drinks after dinner. It was plausible, so I let it go. But then I noticed how she started guarding her phone. Emily used to leave it lying around all the time. Now, it was always face down. If I walked near her while she was texting, she'd lock it instantly. That gut feeling, the one I had ignored, started screaming at me. So I decided to find out the truth for myself. The thing about cheaters, they get lazy. Emily had gotten comfortable in her lies, assuming I was too trusting to ever check up on her. She was wrong. One night, she told me she was going out with her friend Jess. A completely normal thing. But something about the way she said it felt off. So I called Jess. She answered immediately, cheerful as ever. Hey, what's up? I kept my voice casual. Not much. Just wondering if Emily got to your place okay. There was a brief pause. Then Jess said, Emily's not with me. My stomach dropped. I kept my voice steady. Oh, weird. She said she was heading to yours. Jess hesitated, then sighed. Listen, I don't want to get in the middle of anything, but if Emily is lying to you, you should probably ask her why. That told me everything, but I didn't confront her immediately. No, I wanted proof. So, I did something I never thought I'd do. I drove to the bar she usually went to when she wasn't with me. And sure enough, there she was. Not with Jess. Not even with a group of friends. She was sitting in a booth with some guy, leaning in close, whispering in his ear. And then I watched as she kissed him. I should have been angry. Should have felt betrayed, heartbroken, something. But as I watched her laughing, completely comfortable with this other guy, I felt nothing. Just clarity. She wasn't the person I thought she was. And now that I knew, she wasn't my problem anymore. I didn't storm in there. I didn't cause a scene. I simply turned around, walked back to my car, and deleted every single picture of her from my phone. Then, I wrote one simple text. I'm done. No explanation. No anger. No parting words. Just those 2 words. And then, I blocked her. Everywhere. I was halfway home when my phone started blowing up. Emily missed call 1. Emily missed call 2. Emily text message 1. Then another. And another. I didn't check them. Didn't need to. I already knew exactly what they'd say. Confusion. Panic. Her trying to figure out why. I smiled to myself and put my phone on Do Not Disturb. When I got home, I grabbed a beer, turned on my PlayStation, and had the most peaceful night I'd had in months. Meanwhile, Emily was losing her mind. And that was the best revenge I could have asked for. The night I sent that text, I'm done, was the most peaceful I'd had in a long time. No overthinking. No second-guessing. No emotional breakdown. Just silence. And I knew that same silence was driving Emily insane. By the time I woke up the next morning, my phone was flooded. Emily missed call 13. Emily voicemail 4. Emily text message 27. 27 texts. For someone who had zero guilt about cheating on me, she sure was desperate for an explanation. But she wasn't getting one. I scrolled past the messages without opening them. There was something satisfying about watching them stack up, knowing she was sitting there, spiraling, trying to figure out what had gone wrong. I made coffee, sat on my couch, and turned on the TV, completely unbothered. Meanwhile, Emily was in full-blown panic mode. I finally gave in and glanced at my notifications, just to see how she was handling it. It was exactly what I expected. Confusion. Wait, what? What do you mean you're done? Babe, did something happen? Why are you acting weird? Desperation. Please talk to me. I don't understand. Just call me. Are you okay? This isn't funny. Just say something. Fake innocence. If I did something wrong, just tell me. But as far as I know, I haven't done anything. I actually laughed at that last one. She knew exactly what she had done. And yet, she was still playing dumb, because she didn't think I knew. Which made this even better. I finally played the first voicemail. Emily's voice came through shaky and frantic. Hey, I don't know what's going on, but I just woke up to your text, and are you okay? Did something happen? Can you just talk to me? Next one. Babe, please. I'm freaking out. I don't understand why you'd say that. Please call me. The third one. That's when she started losing it. Okay, seriously? Are you ignoring me now? What the hell did I do? She sounded angry. Frustrated. Good. Because she expected a fight. She expected me to demand answers, to break down, to beg her to tell me the truth. She wanted a reaction. And I gave her nothing. By noon, Emily still hadn't heard from me. And that's when the next phase started. I started getting texts from mutual friends. Jess. Hey, are you and Emily okay? She just called me sobbing, saying you dumped her out of nowhere. Matt. Dude, what happened? Emily's texting all of us, saying you just disappeared on her. I could already picture it, Emily, pacing around her apartment, phone in hand, frantically pulling people into the drama because she couldn't get to me directly. Classic. I didn't answer any of them. Then, finally, the one I had been waiting for. A text from Emily's best friend, Alyssa. Unlike the others, Alyssa wasn't clueless. She knew. She had seen Emily at the bar with that guy. And now, she was turning on her. Alyssa. Wow. So you're just gonna act shocked when he leaves you? I told you to stop messing around, Em. What did you think was gonna happen? Oh, this was perfect. Because now, Emily wasn't just losing me. She was losing the people who knew the truth. And that's when she did something truly desperate. That evening, I heard a knock. I already knew who it was before I even checked. And sure enough, there she was. Emily. Standing at my doorstep, puffy-eyed, makeup smudged, hair a mess. She looked like she had spent the whole day crying. I opened the door, but didn't say a word. Just stared at her. She swallowed hard. Can we talk? I leaned against the doorframe, arms crossed. Talk about what? Her lip trembled. I don't know. I don't understand. You just left. No explanation. You won't answer me. What happened? I raised an eyebrow. You don't know. She shook her head, playing innocent. No, I don't. I swear. If I did something wrong, just tell me. I let the silence stretch. Then I just shrugged. I changed my mind. She blinked. What? I shrugged again, completely indifferent. I just don't want to do this anymore. Her jaw dropped. But we were fine yesterday. I gave a small, casual nod. Yeah, and today, I'm done. I could see her breaking down right in front of me. Because she wanted an argument. A scene. A dramatic confrontation where she could defend herself. But I wasn't giving her that. Just cold, emotionless apathy. She let out a shaky breath. This doesn't make sense. I smiled slightly. It does to me. Then I closed the door in her face. After that, Emily's texts got worse. Please, just give me 5 minutes. I need closure. I can't eat. I can't sleep. I don't understand how you could just shut me out like this. You're being so cold. It's like I never meant anything to you. That last one. That's when I knew I had won. Because the truth was, she never cared about how I felt. She only cared about losing control. She wanted me to chase her, to fight for her, to beg her for answers. Instead, I just walked away. And that was the kind of revenge she never saw coming. By the time I shut the door in Emily's face, I already knew what would happen next. She wasn't the kind of person who could handle being ignored. She had always been the one in control, the one who got to decide how things played out. And now, She was powerless. No explanation. No closure. Just silence. And that silence was driving her insane. The next morning, my phone was a disaster. Emily had gone from desperate and confused to full-blown emotional whiplash. Her texts were coming in waves, cycling through every stage of a breakdown. 1. The begging phase. I'm so sorry if I did anything wrong. Please, I just need to talk to you. Can we meet? Just once. I need to see you. You can't just walk away like this. We were happy, weren't we? 2. The guilt tripping. I've been crying all night. I can't sleep. You're really okay just throwing everything away? How can you act like I meant nothing to you? 2 years, gone just like that. 3. The rage. Wow. So that's it. You're just done. No explanation. No closure. You're being a complete asshole. I thought you were better than this. Fine. You want to act cold. Screw you. I don't need you anyway. And then, the funniest part, the fake indifference. Less than an hour after her angry texts, she posted a Snapchat story of herself, makeup fully done, out at brunch with a friend, smiling into the camera with the caption, "Moving on. No time for toxic people." I actually laughed. She thought this would get to me. Like I'd see it and regret leaving. But the truth? She wasn't moving on. She was losing it. And she was about to prove just how desperate she really was. By day 3, Emily hadn't heard a single word from me. She had tried calling, texting, showing up in person, all of it ignored. And that's when she did what every panicked, emotionally unstable ex does. She started stalking my social media. It started small. She viewed my Instagram story. Then she liked a post from 3 months ago. Then, she made her big mistake. At around 1 a.m., I got a notification. Emily sent you a follow request. That's right. She had blocked me earlier that day in some kind of dramatic power move, only to unblock and refollow me hours later because she couldn't handle not knowing what I was up to. She was obsessed, and I wasn't even doing anything. I hadn't posted a single thing since the breakup, and that bothered her even more because it meant I wasn't trying to get a reaction. It meant I was really gone. I was fully expecting Emily to keep spiraling. But what I wasn't expecting, for Alyssa, her best friend, to reach out. Alyssa had always been one of Emily's closest friends, but she had also been the only honest one in her life. And now, she was pissed. Alyssa, I know it's not my business, but I just want to say that I'm sorry. Me? Sorry for what? Alyssa, for not telling you the truth sooner. I knew Emily was screwing around behind your back, but I kept quiet because I thought it wasn't my place. But now, she's acting like she's the victim, and I can't stand it. I stared at the message for a long time. I had already known Emily was a liar, but seeing Alyssa admit it, it just confirmed everything. So I asked the question that had been on my mind. Me, how long was she cheating? Alyssa took a minute before responding, and when she did, it was worse than I thought. Alyssa, over 6 months. With more than one guy. 6 months. I felt a flicker of something. Not sadness, not anger, just disgust. Emily had sat across from me for half a year, saying she loved me, acting like I was her world, all while sneaking around behind my back. And yet, she had the audacity to play the victim now. Pathetic. I took a deep breath and typed my response. Me. Appreciate you telling me. But don't feel bad. I don't care anymore. And the best part? I meant it. That night, I went to bed without thinking about Emily once. I had won. I had taken back my power, walked away without a fight, and left her in the chaos of her own making. And that was killing her. But she wasn't done yet, because the next day, I woke up to a new number texting me. Hey, it's me. Please don't block this number. I just need to say one thing. Emily had burned through every possible way to contact me. Now, she was resorting to using a different number, because she couldn't stand that I had shut her out completely. And this time, she wasn't begging. She wasn't playing games. She was pleading. I get it now. I know why you left. I know what I did. I was stupid, selfish, and I ruined the best thing I ever had. Please, just tell me if I ever meant anything to you. I read the message twice. She was finally breaking. She thought she had all the time in the world to keep lying, to keep playing games. But now, for the first time, she realized she had lost me for good. And that was the real punishment. I smiled, put my phone down, and didn't reply. Emily's last text sat unread on my phone for hours. I had seen it. I just didn't care. It was the first time she had admitted what she had done. 6 months of lies, of sneaking around, of treating me like an idiot while she played the perfect girlfriend. And now, she finally realized she had lost me for good. But here's the thing about people like Emily. They never go down quietly. And I was about to find out just how far she was willing to go. It was almost midnight when I heard it. A sharp, frantic knock at my door. I didn't need to check. I already knew. Emily was here. I sighed, debating whether to even acknowledge it. But then I heard something else. Her voice, muffled through the door. "Please. I know you're in there." She sounded wrecked. Not just sad. Not just angry. This was full breakdown mode. I opened the door just enough to see her. And yeah, she looked awful. Her hair was messy. Her eyes were swollen from crying. And she was still wearing the same clothes from earlier, like she hadn't even stopped to think before rushing over. Her hands were shaking. I just stared at her. "What are you doing here?" She swallowed hard. I need to talk to you. Please." I leaned against the doorframe, completely indifferent. "There's nothing to talk about." Her lip quivered. I know what I did. I was a horrible girlfriend. I lied. I cheated. I was selfish. But I swear, I didn't realize what I was losing until you left." She let out a shaky breath. "You were the only person who ever truly cared about me." And I threw it away. I didn't say anything. Just watched her. She was expecting something. A reaction. A sign that I still cared. But I just stayed silent. And that's what broke her. She snapped. "Do you even care? Do I mean anything to you at all? Because I can't stop thinking about you." I exhaled slowly. I cared. A lot. And you threw it away for some random guys at a bar. Her face crumbled. I made a mistake. I tilted my head. Which one? The first guy? The second? Or were there more? She flinched, like I had physically slapped her. And that's when I saw it. She knew. She knew I knew everything. Her voice broke. "I don't know how to fix this." I gave her a small, cold smile. "You don't." Then I shut the door in her face. I thought that would be the end of it. But I was wrong. Because Emily wasn't done spiraling yet. 5 minutes later, my phone buzzed. A voicemail. I pressed play, expecting more pleading. But no. This time, she was furious. "You know what? Screw you. I can't believe you're treating me like this after everything we had." I actually laughed. She had gone full circle. From denial to begging to rage, all in a matter of days. She wasn't heartbroken. She was losing control, and it was killing her. But I was already done. So I deleted the voicemail, blocked her number, and moved on. Over the next few weeks, I watched from a distance as Emily's life fell apart. She lost friends. She lost respect. She lost the power she thought she had over me. And the guy she had cheated with? He ghosted her the moment he realized she wasn't as unattached as she had pretended to be. She had nothing left. And me? I had never felt better. Because in the end, she was the one who had to live with her choices. I just walked away. And that was the greatest revenge of all. It's been about 6 months since that night. The night Emily stood on my doorstep, crying, pleading, breaking down, and I closed the door on her for good. At first, I thought that was the last time I'd ever have to deal with her. I was wrong. Because people like Emily, they don't just disappear. They linger, like a bad memory, like a shadow that refuses to fade. And even though I had moved on, she had never let go. From what I've heard, Emily has been through every stage of post-breakup self-destruction. For the first few weeks after I blocked her, she did what every desperate ex does. She tried to convince the world she was totally fine. Her social media became a nonstop stream of, "Look how happy I am without him" posts, selfies at bars, random inspirational quotes about healing and growth. One post even said, "Sometimes losing someone is the best thing that can happen to you." It was pathetic, because everyone who knew what actually happened knew she was falling apart. Then came the moving on phase. She jumped into a new relationship, or at least, she tried. The guy, some random dude from Tinder. And guess how long it lasted? 3 weeks. Because the moment he stopped giving her attention, she lost it. She tried pulling the same mind games, manipulations, and power moves on him. But unlike me, he saw right through it immediately. And when he dumped her, she begged him to stay. Just like she had begged me. He laughed in her face and left. She was officially alone. Stage 3, the isolation. After that, Emily just disappeared. No more posts. No more fake smiles. Her friends started dropping her one by one. Because here's the thing. Once a liar is exposed, people stop trusting them. She had spent so long pretending, so long lying and manipulating. And now, no one wanted anything to do with her. I heard through the grapevine that she cried to Alyssa about how much she regretted everything. I was so stupid. I had someone who loved me, and I ruined it. Do you think he still hates me? Do you think he ever thinks about me? The answer? No. Because while she was rotting in her own regret, I was thriving. Cutting Emily out of my life was the best thing I ever did. In the past 6 months, I've focused on myself. I started hitting the gym, picking up new hobbies, and actually enjoying life without the constant stress of her BS. Met someone new. It wasn't immediate, and I wasn't even looking. But one day, I met a girl who was everything Emily wasn't. Honest, genuine, actually capable of real love. And for the first time, I realized what a real relationship should feel like. Gained the ultimate power in difference. If Emily walked past me on the street today, I wouldn't even care. She used to own my emotions. She used to make me second-guess myself. Now, she's just another mistake I outgrew. And the best part? She knows it. You'd think Emily would have given up by now. But last week, she made one last move. I woke up to a block number voicemail. I don't know why, but I listened. And it was her. Her voice was soft, quiet, different. Hey, I know you probably don't want to hear from me. But I just wanted to say I'm sorry. I know I messed up. And I know I don't deserve forgiveness. But I needed you to know that I regret everything. I miss you. I miss us. I wish I could go back and undo it all. She sighed. I guess it doesn't matter now. You've moved on. I see that. And I don't blame you. I just needed to say this. Then a pause. And the last words I'll ever hear from her. Goodbye. I didn't respond. I didn't need to. Because the truth is, she wasn't really saying goodbye to me. She was saying goodbye to the person who cared about her. And that person was gone a long time ago. Revenge isn't about screaming, fighting, or making someone suffer. Real revenge is silence. It's moving on so completely that they can't stand it. It's becoming so indifferent that their existence doesn't even register anymore. Emily thought she could break me. But in the end, she broke herself. And I never even had to lift a finger.